I'm Sister Patricia Fox of the Sisters of Our Lady of Sion. I've been professed now for 49 years, and part of my journey has been 28 years in the Philippines, which was memorable, and I can't really point to one memorable occasion because I think the whole time was memorable for me. We went there answering the call of the congregation to see the world through the eyes of the poor. So we chose first to go to the Prelature of Infanta with Bishop Labayan. And in those days there wasn't a lot of transport, so I spent time walking the mountains, crossing rivers, in boats, and I just loved it, being out among the environment and with the people. I remember one time when we were going to one of the islands and the sea was very rough, and I must have been making some comment, and I can remember Bishop Labayan saying, well, you wanted to immerse yourself in the Prelature, and I said yes, but not in the ocean. We had a chance to stay with the people, the farmers, the fisher folk, the indigenous peoples, and get to know a new culture, a new way of doing things. And I discovered I didn't need all the things I once thought I did. When I went to Aurora, I can still remember riding in the tricycles and looking at the mountains, because they change colour depending on the time of day, depending on the time of year. So it was quite an eye-opener to me when one day the indigenous peoples came and said that there were helicopters landing on their lands. A little bit of research showed that it was mining companies, and a bit more research showed it was international company behind several local companies, a way of getting around the law. That's where I learned how to analyse, to see what was happening, and also to see how powerful it could be when people are organised, because the different sectors use the information to explain to the people what was happening, and a whole group of joining together, church, academics, farmers, fisherfolk, indigenous people, worked to stop the mining happening. I got to see and stay with a lot more farmers, fisherfolk and indigenous peoples when I became the national coordinator of the Rural Missionaries of the Philippines. So I got to see and take part in more of their joys, their celebrations, but also to share their difficulties. Because wherever I went, the same problems occurred. The farmers didn't own the land that they were tilling. They were locked into using crops which were chemically dependent. The fisherfolk were losing the rights to their fishing areas. The indigenous people were being displaced because of mining, logging, expansion of plantations, dams, all ecologically destructive. And so I came more and more to know what Pope Francis means when he said care of the earth and care of the poor are interlinked. Because all of these projects would not only destroy the earth, but they destroyed the life, livelihood, culture, religion of the people. I took part in some very meaningful ecumenical and interfaith liturgies and made friends in the ecumenical and interfaith communities. I took part in liturgies where we shared the lives and the sorrows of victims of human rights violations and their families, with farmers who were being evicted, with urban poor who were fighting demolition, with the workers who were striking just for decent wages and decent working conditions. I got to know so many people, and they taught me so much. And apart from the joys and the sorrows, I also got to know their hopes, and I hope that they worked for. I hope that one day life could be better, and a knowledge that if they work for this and they struggle for this, it would be better. And I was privileged to be able to take part in some of these struggles. And I carry this hope with me always that with our efforts together, we can bring about a world where there is justice, peace and love, where everybody can live in dignity, where all people are respected, and we can truly worship God as one people.